on the 1st of March. I said, okay, we got a deal. Let me put a 10% deposit down.
Oof.
And 2 weeks later, you know what? The story happened.
Everybody knows what happened in March last year.
How soon did you make the decision to go tech?
Okay. If I reveal this, then some of my clients not comfortable.
It was a nightmare. We had to deal with all the documents, all the paperwork, whether will we get refund if trade fairs, you spend like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. What is up, guys? My name is Charles Liew. Welcome to Biz Chat with Charles Liew, where we talk to real business people about real business stuff. But hey, why so serious? In this episode, we will talk about the pandemic, 2020, COVID-19, and today we have three heavyweights joining us in the studio. So to my right, it's Kenisia from Level Up Fitness. We have Zywin Kasim from Corbis Tech, and we have Fiona Marcus Raja from Borneo International Exhibition. Okay, so let's get this talk started, right? So how was business, Kenny?
Well, I'm in the fitness industry. I run 11 gyms in Sabah and Sarawak. I think safe to say, the fitness industry is probably one of the hardest hit in the COVID era. People are saying that don't go to the gym. People are breathing heavy and sweat may transmit and things like that. All these myths that's about how COVID might transmit. Yeah, so I think that was why people are targeting that, because gym is essentially an indoor venue where people gather, and therefore it's a bad thing.
Sure.
So they shut down on that note, I think, essentially. I guess the story I want to tell was that, things were looking okay pre-March 2020 for us.
Very okay. I heard there was a contract that was...
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. And I think around February 2020, you'll be laughing at the timeline looking back now. February 2020, we were offered to take over an existing gym in Kuala Lumpur. I think it's about time that we enter, the big cities and fight the big boys. On the 1st of March, I said, okay, we got a deal. Let me put a 10% deposit down.
Oof.
And 2 weeks later, you know what? The story happened.
Everybody knows what happened in March last year.
So that deal that was supposed to go through and supposed to be the entry of Level Up Fitness on the big stage, ended up being gone. So
Sure.
it wasn't good at all.
I kind of agree. I mean, if you had started work and then this happened, right? So things could always be worse, huh?
Yeah.
Zywin.
Yeah.
So how was business for you? How was business for you?
Okay, for me, I think last year, we are actually in a training and as well event industry.
Yes.
Especially for the youth segment. But since pandemic happened, we are quite understand what's going on. In fact, we already have a few big programs or events supposedly happened last year.
Sure.
Like in the ASEAN as well, collaboration with the Singapore youth NGO. But we know where's the direction. So being always eager with the situation, we look at this on the bright side.
Sure.
So we have a brainstorming on our team. So voila, we play the tech market. So we go for the more digital agency. We're moving more to digital agency currently, helping entrepreneurs and the youngsters in digital marketing and also in the virtual events.
How soon did you make the decision to go tech?
Okay.
If I
reveal this, then some of my clients not comfortable. No, actually, just kidding. We already are get involved in this digital quite for some time.
Sure.
But to be a player, we start identify on the March. We quite understand what's going on. Event industry, nothing much. All the seminars or the big, it's not much. We are looking. There's nothing happened.
Yeah.
So what we are telling to the teams, so you either reskilling, upgrade a new skill, and also we go deeper on this thing. The good thing is the market is getting bigger on this thing.
Absolutely.
A lot of people going into this digital.
Yeah.
So either we go it strongly, either we jump into it now, or we wait, hoping for those old past thing of
this
business.
Is perfect because I remember during the pandemic, you were helping one pharmacy do like an online store. I was like, this guy bringing my competitor online. You know what I mean? But I love it. I mean, it puts pressure on the rest of the players in the market, which increases competition.
Correct.
And then it's the best for consumers. You know what I mean? Competition drives.
Because last year is quite a chaos, and a lot of things people don't understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
So we try things, whatnot, whatsoever.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much. How about you, Fiona? Tourism.
Tourism.
The best industry for pandemic.
We're in the best industry in the world. Travel.
It's beautiful, huh?
Yeah, we live in this world where we try to market the place, get people to come in, but
Yeah.
So we had the last trip in Germany before the pandemic happened.
remember that trip.
Yeah, we were deciding whether we should call off the trip because when Wuhan announced the outbreak, it was beginning of the year, and I remember it was Chinese New Year. So we were having a meeting. It's like, do we travel? Do we not travel? You know, that part of the world, we don't know what's going on beyond Sarawak. Because in Malaysia, it still seemed safe.
Yeah.
So we went on a trip. We bought all the sanitizers. Remember
Yes,
buying
yeah,
from I remember
remember.
stocking up all the masks, sanitizer, everything. So when we in Germany, we were the only one in mask. Like no one knew there was a pandemic happening, and no one was aware of it. And the day we were like, do we continue the trip? But the thing about it when we reached Germany was, the whole China market, no one attended the trade fair. It was only everyone else done line. Like everyone else was there besides the China market. And when we came back, it just became more and more real. And then we realized that all the events had to be cancelled. Because all these are planning of, you know, Zywin knows this. We plan a year, 2 years ahead, right?
Events, ma.
So we had a trip to Japan. We had a trade fair in Thailand. It was a nightmare. We had to deal with all the documents, all the paperwork, you know, whether will we get refund if, you know, trade fairs, you spend like hundreds of thousands. I remember refunding 700 over 1,000 of deposit for all the events that we had at that point, only at that point. We didn't know how long it will last.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when we were in it, we thought it would be forever, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was all doom and gloom.
Correct.
No,
3
I
months
thought it was 2
like-
weeks. You know? I thought it was just
That's
2 weeks.
too optimistic, my friend. Is it the flu?
You see, I think the beauty about being in events, right? You are always ready for the worst case scenario. So we always like plan A, plan B, plan C. So when that happened, the whole team, we had to regroup and remind the whole team, like, you know, look, there's no events. Some of our team, we had employees that came up to us and said, we didn't sign up for this. I said, dude, no one in this world signed up for COVID.
Obviously.
So either you change your job scope or you get out of this company because we can't feed everyone here.
Yeah, sure.
You know, hoping that you came in with this job scope and then you continue doing this. There's no events. Have you seen the events? Like, what do you see?
Yeah.
Tough
Difficult.
time, yeah?
It's tough. It's tough. So I don't think there'll be any events for the next 2 years.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I mean, in the pharmacy industry, it's very similar because people think that hey, during this time, people buying masks and everything. I tell you, during non-pandemic times, mask margins are 10 times more than during pandemic times. We get 74, we sell 75 because the ceiling price is 75. So we make 1 ringgit, but then we also have to split it up and things like that. So you can see people lining up, but our costs are sky high and it's extremely difficult for us as well, right? So that is all. We'll go to a break and then we'll come back with more. So Zywin, during the pandemic, right, a lot of staff were actually very panicky, very stressed, right? Not knowing whether they would keep their job because working from home, what does that mean, right? So how did you overcome that with leadership?
Speaking of staff panic, actually the boss is double and triple panic.
But no one cares. No one cares about the bosses.
Okay. But the idea is, but you're correct. Actually, that's what we have to address. Like me, because we involve a lot of leadership program or training. But last year, I think this is the real test, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All this while you talk, you give a training, but this is the real test. So first thing first, we have to be realistic. On my side, we're checking on our cash reserve, blah, blah, for how long we can survive everything. So then goes with the work from home. Okay, this is the start where the challenge really coming because the mindset of the staff, work from home, happy holiday.
Happy holiday. 10 o'clock, wake
10
up.
o'clock, they're really happy. But first thing first, we start, since we are moving for a different direction, let's say we are getting in the tech industry, we are changing or we are moving to different kind of thing.
Sure.
So first thing first, I said 1 month, hibernate. So after 1 month, we actively doing the Zoom meeting, you know. So in the Zoom meeting as well, this is a really interesting thing. Not everyone everybody happy to. This is holiday. Some of the people, but not holiday lah. The point is not together in the company.
Yeah,
the heart is not there.
Yeah,
so what I'm doing, basically, I identify who are the strongest with the company. So we start meeting with them again and again. Then we start getting involved more.
Identify leaders within the organization.
Among the team.
Yeah. Perfect.
So because you do not
Perfect
know
time.
among your team who are actually together with you. You imagine in the Zoom, every boss will understand this. You might talk to a lot of people, but if the height's not there, no point.
If the height is not there, there's no graphic also. Don't show their face. They're in the pajamas.
So the only way you have to know who are together with you first. Then we build up more and more and more.
Yes.
Then eventually we kick off accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you for that. How about you, Fiona?
Huh.
How did you leave? Did you yell?
Well, we were lucky we had a job. So yeah. So we have 8 companies.
Yeah.
But one company was basically pulling everyone on the lifeboat. So what we did was we got everyone to stay in the office. So we work at 11 Ridgeway.
Yes.
We made the team split. This was the first time we actually had time to spend, living with them for 6 months with them in the office. You learn everyone's strength.
Yes.
You start to see your hidden gems in the company.
Yes.
You start to see the ones that can talk, cannot do. The ones that are better talkers, and the PR guy. There's always one PR guy in the company, right? But best part was the Zoom meeting was a nightmare. The initial stage of Zoom meeting was, you don't know how to function the whole thing. You don't know whether they're working. And like you said, you're not sure whether they knew they were still working because everyone felt it was like a long vacation. And they compare notes among other companies. Like, why other companies not working? Why are we working 24/7? But one thing we have to admit, MCO has allowed everyone to work extremely hard because the hours become longer, right? You have meetings middle of the night.
Oh yeah.
You now have meetings like 6 in the morning, anytime, anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So it's a blessing in disguise. It's also a curse.
It is. How about you, Kenny?
Well,
I'm very sure in your industry, with closed gyms everywhere, staff would be panicking, wouldn't they?
You see, during the MCO, if you run a retail store, you can, supermarkets essentially still open. Gym, you can't do this. You can't have Grab send a trainer to your house. Our revenue don't come from selling physical items. Our revenue comes on monthly membership. And then the first thing people do is that if I cannot go to the gym, why should I be paying my monthly fee? And I thought the right thing to do back then was to say, okay, we can freeze a monthly membership.
That was a great example, by the way. That was a great example because other people started doing it after you did it.
If anything, that we should maintain faith because this thing is going to blow over eventually. And if we are evil people and say you still got to pay money even though the gym is closed, I don't think people can trust us anymore. So we say, okay, automate free freezing, all right, for as long as the gym is closed, you don't have to pay a single cent. Not only that, I face the risk of closing a business that I built for 10 years. With investment that I still owe money to. So I was really, really, really depressed. I was in a very, very dark space and I got no help to reach out to. I was in a very bad state, but I think I negotiated in some ways. I said, hey, you know that you cannot work and we cannot make you work. We cannot make you come to the gym and work. So this is what we're gonna do, all right? I'm gonna ask you guys, I'm not forcing you guys, I'm gonna ask you guys to take unpaid leave. I don't think everyone's gonna accept that, but I was extremely fortunate that all 80 of my staff says, yes, I understand, I'll accept that. Not all, of those who can work from home, okay, we look at the workload lah, if you are up 50%, can you accept a 50% pay cut just for the moment when during MCO? Was also validation of the things that we've done pre-crisis. I believe that we treat right by our staff before the crisis.
Absolutely.
Then,
leadership before, leading to trust, and then after that, they just
when we need their help, to take
sure.
the bullet and to rush through the right
For
seas
sure,
together,
absolutely.
they say yes.
It's very similar to us because we are quite different. We are essential service, so we needed to open, but during this time, a lot of staff actually resign because all of a sudden, like when they sign up to be a pharmacy assistant, they did not sign up to be a frontliner, especially during a time when there was so much fear in the market. So a lot who just joined like 1 week before the pandemic, they say, oh, we didn't sign up for this. So they left. I said, it's fine. But even some of the pharmacists were scared because we just didn't know at the time what we were dealing with. Yeah. So I sat everyone down and said, hey, this is it. You train as a pharmacist, there won't be a time like this in the future, quite likely, because this happened every 100 years. So you are now here, you train to be a pharmacist, this is it. This is the time of your life, right? Grab this opportunity, be the best version of yourself.
To shine.
And absolutely, absolutely. And once that switch flipped, it was just amazing. It was just amazing. Everyone, second day of Chinese New Year, they were working from morning until because the
I think you were
because of the line,
busy that day.
because the
With
line,
the live every time you sharing, right?
Yeah. So and we took the time as well to actually like you, we took a break from everything because it was so quiet. So we managed to tidy up a lot of things upstairs or whatever, all of our stores, and we gave a lot of things, systems and things like that, a lot of detox stuff that we couldn't do before. We detoxed during this time as a business. So I thought that was really, really good, right? So once your staff started to see that, hey, we are doing things, we are progressing, because when you feel there's progress, you feel you are doing work, you enjoy it, right? So so that's how we actually overcame it. So guys, we're coming to the end of the chat, right? So I believe a lot of industries have changed forever. If it's not your industry, it would be connecting industries to your industry. So things would change. And so let's go one by one as to what has changed in your industry and how are you gearing up for it? So let's start with Fiona this time.
I get to start first now. What has changed? I think travel has changed. Meetings have changed. But I think that there's always two sides of a coin. For every crisis, there's always an opportunity.
Yeah.
I believe all of us here took advantage of the opportunity, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Open a business in the middle of the whole pandemic,
Well,
big outlet.
We're entrepreneurs.
We went straight into digital marketing.
Straight away.
Immediately.
Okay. E-bro. Now his branding is E-bro, by the way.
He is.
E-bro. Hashtag E-bro.
Yeah. Kenny's now probably planning his scheme with everything that's closing in KL. I'm going to take it all.
She's gonna go on the ground, just this thing down. Like, all right, so.
It's like, who's shutting down? We're just going to take it all down now.
Did you look at Bangsar?
Yeah. But I think that with this whole pandemic, it really opens up your eyes about how far you can plan.
Absolutely.
It gives you a lot of clarity because you have less distractions. We open a bar smack in the middle of the whole pandemic. My friends are calling me like, you are a hero, okay? Who's going to go drink at this time, right? So the first thing is, I don't think it's about opening up to do business. It's really to train your staff.
Absolutely.
When the market open, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Right, like now we're talking to Zywin just now about events next year, what we can start doing, we can start planning to do better, what we can improve. We never had time before this. Time was something we never had.
Yeah.
Now you have plenty of time to plan. What would you plan?
Absolutely.
What would be the great, that great debut that you would do, once this is over, when the gates open. Yeah, so.
Brilliant.
Yes.
I love it. Okay. How about Kenny?
Oh, but did you take them all in the gym?
More is better.
Well, I think one really good thing, I must say, that that this crisis came out, is that something I can never do on my own, was the general public's adoption of technology. When I first started my business and I say, hey, to sign up, you got to use a credit card. And people are like, well, people in Kuching don't use credit card. People in Sarawak don't use credit card, and they use cash. They prefer cash. Cash is always the most preferred method. And now, after the crisis, everyone is using smartphone to check in MyTV, I hope. Right? Everyone is using e-wallets now. The e-wallet adoption has gone to the roof. On our part, we are embracing that change by really, really looking into how we can digitalize the whole business process. So one of the things that we did, and we're very lucky in doing this, was that we're able now to put more of our membership administration online, gym membership administration online. So previously, for example, if you want to pay your membership fees, over the counter. You gotta do it in person. You gotta make payment and all those things. And now we take away all that stuff. You can just log in online to our website and say, okay, if I owe say 100 ringgit this month, then I can just make payment. Go through a payment gateway, pass through, and then after that you can use the gym again. And things like this was never there before. And another thing, for example, group classes. You want to attend a Zumba class. Previously, it's first come, first serve. You go in there, you show up, and hopefully that you got a spot for yourself. But after that, we change it and say, okay, we got capacity limits. Don't come to the gym for nothing. So you log online, you can see how many people book ahead of you. You can see it's fully booked or not. If it's fully booked, it's okay. There's the next slot or another outlet. We can do all these things online now.
That's brilliant. I mean, I think these kind of things scale very well as well, because if you're expanding, this kind of things just...
Correct. So it's just add one more outlet. So to me, that's the biggest positive thing that came out. And I think absolutely we got to embrace that.
Sure. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Zywin,
yeah.
How has things changed? And how are you giving? We know about the Kobe stack already. So
okay.
What else?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking about the direction nowadays, we work a lot with the youngsters. But I can say that the good things about happening with this pandemic, people start thinking forward for the future.
Sure.
Whatever they want to do now, they start give a big thought, planning. Is it going to work now? Is it going to work for the future as well? So people start adjusting. Like past years, sometimes people like just gambateh, gang ho, just do it, you know. So
Joke success.
Joke success.
Okay.
Okay. But now, what I really like, people give really looking forward. Is it works? But the thing is, it's really important now because the culture of doing things is really different.
Absolutely.
The way we're buying things,
Absolutely.
the way we do things, totally different. So,
for sure.
What's the good thing about this? The hope, I think for the business marketing as well, direction is what people start aware. Actually, sorry to say, in Sarawak, some of the businesses, when they're talking about the marketing, they're really, the way how doing things, whatever, they're really not analyzing the whole thing, whatnot. But with this kind of thing happening, they start reflecting.
Yes.
What's a good thing about this thing, actually? People like to reflect more, learn more. So when you have the market, they reflect by themselves, they learn by themselves. It's much easier for you to get into helping them to reach whatever their goals.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. Yeah. Okay. I mean, for Shine Pharmacy, it's very different because I think a lot of people are moving online. Most of your answers here are about online as well. So I ask myself, how can we be different? So for sure, we have an online platform, but I thought even more so, we need to focus on offline because for things like pharmacy consultation, these will not be replaced in the next 5-10 years. It will eventually be replaced by robots or whatever. But at this point in time, people still come to the pharmacy for advice. And because of that, we can't overlook the physical people inside. So what we do is we try to automate to allow for pharmacists to actually be pharmacists instead of having to look after a lot of the nitty-gritty without automation. So we're looking at that, the technology part, to make sure our humans are humans 100%. So things have changed for sure, but I feel like with us as leaders being able to see opportunities, I think it's very exciting. I feel it's very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, brilliant. So that's a wrap. So thank you for tuning in to Biz Chat with Charles Liew. I hope you guys have learned that during these tough times, that for sure there will be opportunities, right? If you are a leader, you know that if you find a group of people who trust your vision, have a clear vision, and if they buy into your vision, they'll follow you wherever you go. Okay, and then tough times become exciting times. So until the next episode, this is bye for now. Ciao.